Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Winter Bracket Finals of the Mr. Cat Invitational here on moonducktv. Sig.Trust versus Execration. I'm Zyori, joined again by Rhyme. Rhyme, what's the good word here coming into Game 2 with Sig.Trust looking good in the first match, taking this series 1-0. We'll see what Execration has in store.
The question is, do we drow or do we not? They are. I think they see the Spirit and they're going to pick drow and Slardar or drow and axe. Oh, there we go.
Well,
here we go.
Good call. Okay. We have seen stunningly few first pick Earth Spirits. I think this hero now is really... He's maybe underloved, but sort of forgotten. We've seen him trickle into a couple drafts, 4th or 5th pick, when it seems like they need a little bit of team fight and a good roamer, but very seldom has he prioritized this highly.
Yeah, he's not what he used to be. He used to be Earth Spirit, Destroyer of Worlds, Smasher of Kingdoms, things like that, but now he's just an Earth Spirit, you know, he just rolls. He might just crawl at you with his rolling boulder, you know. He occasionally does a Steven Gerrard and just kind of nets it, but not really. Like he usually is dependent on getting a really good early laning phase, getting some good roaming done, and maybe getting a few kills. He's not really good at zoning. He's not amazing versus BKB. He's not that good versus a lot of the mid heroes that are popular now. So he doesn't really have much of a place for some teams, but I think Execration are one of those teams that they're happy having their support heroes not really have that much farm, and they want them to be influential in the early laning phase.
Yeah.
Certainly he might be what the Wisp and the Lion were not last game.
Yeah. So Bat Rider, second pickup for Execration. Good, presumably off-laner here. Usually how they like to play it. A good control hero, can farm in the jungle pretty well, take out some stacks, all that good stuff. The Shadow Demon's been banned, but I wonder what else they pair with the Drow Ranger here. Vengeful Spirit, usually pretty high on the list. The double Aura strat, she's going to be taken out. Beastmaster also out. Another Aura, you know, the attack speed really helps her. I wonder if they're thinking about Storm Spirit again. We've seen Storm Spirits picked in tandem with Drow a lot. That helps a lot of his early game issues in that first 6 levels with the Aura.
Yeah, do you see it sometimes? I think they'll probably try and take control of lanes fairly early. They've done a similar draft with Drow, Axe first 2, and they've gone Venge, Undying in the next phase versus Warriors Gaming. They last picked the Storm, I think. So they usually save their middle hero for last either way, so we won't be finding that out too quickly. But I think Venge being banned out, they're going to go for the Oracle. And this is one of the best Oracle third picks I've seen. He destroys Spirit and Bat Rider, and he's quite good with Drow, and he's decent with Axe as well. So I think this is a pretty good pick. I'm kind of biased because obviously FDL pick Oracle quite a lot because Stan King is very, very good at that hero. And I've seen what it can do, like picking it first phase every single game. And I think a third phase Oracle is obviously going to be doing better against some of the enemy heroes. So I think as long as the Oracle player is confident and knows where to be, I think he's going to have a great game.
Yeah, and it's not a bad hero to have against an Invoker either. Fate's Edict can be a pretty powerful tool, and with anyone against anyone that has burst damage, False Promise has some potential at least. So Sig.Trust with a lot of options in this draft. They could grab something like a Witch Doctor, add a little more healing into the support duo, and also get some stuns. But no, they grab the Storm Spirit, afraid that Execration may ban it out. They go and pick it up with their 4th. So their 3 cores now secured. I like this. I think this is a good opening here from Sig.Trust, and already Execration maybe in a tough spot. I wonder what do they need here? What could fix this for them?
They need a good lane support. There we go. Minto Wyvern. So he is the hero that is going to you focus a target with Drow plus Axe or Storm. Cold Embrace is just generally very good against Drow and Storm, especially Drow Storm, because Storm is actually mostly physical damage, especially in mid to late game. So the Cold Embrace and maybe plus a Gilmer Cape is going to save almost anyone from Storm. So it's good at that stage of the game, and it's good at defending high ground. It's one of the best high ground defense heroes with Splinter Blast, and you can instantly kill someone because Drow Ranger's going to have her illusions up, and she's going to be standing around one of her supports quite often. So the ulti is incredibly effective. So I think this is a really, really good pick.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're going to ban out. Obviously, Sig.Trust have already picked their mid hero, so they're going to be trying to ban. I'd say the Axe is definitely going to be the offlaner, so they're probably going to be banning a second support, something that's likely to roam on the Invoker. So, okay, they ban out the Disruptor. So the Disruptor was banned out last by Sig.Trust last game. It's banned out this time by Execration. I don't think Disruptor's really that much a concern for them, but um, obviously they're privy to information that I'm not because they know what they want to do, and I don't.
Yeah, I mean, they might be looking at. For some reason, that makes me think they're going to pick Slark with their last for the safe lane.
I would not say that Slark wouldn't be like it would be the worst pick, but I think Slark at this there's already an Axe, so Axe is obviously very good versus Slark. You can call him at any point. You have a lot of burst damage. There's a Storm, so you can't kill the Storm reliably. You maybe need an Orchid or a Basher to deal with him, or someone else to disable. You can't really expect to kill someone with Oracle in the game, and also you know that with a Drow strat, they're probably quite likely to group up early and take towers and take Roche. And Slark is one of those heroes that excels when the enemy team are forced to split up, when they have to send heroes into lanes and farm out in dangerous positions, where the threat of a Slark Shadowblade will massively decrease the farm available to the enemy team. So I
Yeah.
don't think that Slark is going to be the pick.
And it
But
could also have just been a disruptor ban because of that very strategy you talked about. Disruptor can be pretty good. You try to disengage, he has glimpse to pull you back. It does secure kills with a kinetic field, and if you do find glimpses, it's pretty easy setup for Axe or a Drow follow up silence. Also, Storm Spirit, a mobile hero that can get you vision to get in range for those glimpses. So all
yeah,
around,
it's,
just
it's
an
like
annoying
it's that
hero.
kind of thing where like if Execration ever do start to do well in a fight, the Sig.Trust can just evac really fast. They've got a Storm, they've got a Drow, so they can just bail. So Disruptor would be quite good to glimpse. So they've got the Klink's last pick. This actually functions very much like a Slark, except that he's much better at pressuring buildings. So I'm just going to be wondering. I think one of the main things for me that I'm going to be watching this game is the relative farm for Klinks against Storm, because if Storm gets really far ahead of him, Storm can threaten a solo kill on Klinks at almost any point. Because I don't think Klinks is going to be playing with this team too much in the mid game. So I think that they have to take their safe lane tower fairly quickly for Execration. They have to get Klinks quite a bit ahead and make sure that he's not threatened too much by the Axe.
Yeah,
But
which might be a little bit easier said than done. Sig.Trust have a lot of options here, actually, in terms of support. Shadow Demon, Venge, Disruptor banned out, but aside from that, they've got the pick of the litter. I still think something along the lines of a Witch Doctor could be all right. Spend a lot of time
that would
grouped
be
up.
pretty good this game, I think.
Good
I
damage.
don't
Yeah.
like Witch Doctor. Like they don't lack disable. They've got Storm. They've got Axe. They don't really need too much disable with their heroes.
They
And
could dazzle as well. And
a
all
Baden,
right,
all right.
similar vein, but I like this a lot. Very, very good against Bat Rider. Wow, they have a lot of ways to get rid of that lasso.
Yeah, I really like Abaddon with Drow strats as well because Abaddon is like one of those heroes that you can just stick in a lane and then he's really really hard to force out. So he could pressure the Klinks quite early as well, and he's also just really good because if you ever want to kill the Axe when he goes in, like say the Axe goes in and you silence him. And he just gets shielded, and then he just starts battle hungry people, calling people, and then doing whatever he does.
Yeah.
So it just he's also a really really good flats builder. So and he's happy to buy almost every single aura in the game. He doesn't need to be too farmed. He once he gets a hit on the building with Frostmourne, he will massively increase the damage coming out from the Drow. So all in all, I think it's very very I don't know. It just fits in really well.
Yeah, and both of these supports for Sig.Trust are also ones that Klinks can't easily pick on, right? Klinks is definitely one of those carries that if you've got a Lion, Disruptor, heroes like that, once he has the Orchid up, he can pop up behind them, easy kills every time. Sig.Trust, not quite the same vein. I mean, if he catches them completely out by themselves, can kill them in the full duration of the Orchid, that's one thing, but there are a lot of tools to reset, stay alive if anybody's nearby. I think both of these supports are a good mix of high damage output, a little bit of control, but also so much survivability for the team.
Yep. So Nando's asking if he's ready to go. Just looking, no one's bought any items yet, so we can't. We'll see in a second. Well, Batrider's immediately just bought the TP. Clinks has also TP to his lane. Oh, Batrider sold his. Wyvern's going to be buying most of the stuff. And Urspirit's going to be having his Orb of Venom, so Urspirit is going to be paying the Storm Spirit a visit fairly soon. Oracle's doing that thing. He just TPs into mid tower. He smokes up. Is he going to place the same ward he placed last game? Yeah,
Looks like it.
Maybe. No, he's going to place this one. No, indecisive. Okay, there we go. So it's a similar ward, but doesn't give control of the ancients, and he blocks. Is that? That barely blocks.
I think it blocks. It should.
Yeah,
I wish
he wouldn't place it if it didn't block, obviously.
Yeah, I wish that's true. Now, I wish we had a way to look at how close it is, like as a spectator, you know, pull up the lines with a hotkey or something.
Oh, you can. You can.
What's the hotkey? How do you do it?
It's Alt. Alt. Just hold Alt down. It should show. If you have it in your settings, you'll need to enable it in the settings.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. Alt does not work for me. I'll have to check that out. The more you know. Look at that, Rhyme. You're already paying for yourself.
Because my Alt will. I don't know why. When I'm playing.
It works when I'm playing, just not spectating.
Yeah, when I'm playing in-game, my ult shows everything. It shows, like, the spawn boxes, it shows the tower ranges, things like that, but it only shows the spawn boxes when I do it in spectate. Which I don't know why.
That's weird.
I think Execration's draft reminds me a lot of something like EG's playstyle, where they have this carry that is really, really good at hitting buildings and is really a good BKB buyer, and they have some mid-hero that will push lanes, team fight with the team, and then they have a support that will basically shore up their lanes. It reminds me a lot of EG. I'm just watching this mid lane, see if Jabs will redeem himself, because he may have had a crisis last game.
Yeah, same matchup.
Oh, Abed is getting massively outlaned here. This is not good.
Yeah, I remember last time it started with the Storm Spirit going up to the high ground and he got ganked by the line a little bit by surprise. Not going to be the case this go around. Sig.Trust doing a 2-1-2, so Execration will have both of their supports down bottom, at least for now. Tim's on the Earth Spirit and Chemo here on the Winter Wyvern. I like this from Sig.Trust. With these two sustainable supports, I think they can actually get away with this dual lane and do pretty well in this 2v3 scenario.
Yeah, I'm still slightly worried because honestly, actually, I think they can do fine here. Like, the Clinks is one of those heroes who, if he gets levels, he will have enough damage output to discourage the axe, which not many heroes can do. But he's a Clinks farming under tower with... He's got Ring of Protection, so he has a bit of armor. He's got a lot of regen, so he should be okay.
Abba still being an irritant, and I think as long as these two can distract the supports of Execration and make it a 1v1 mid, Jabs is going to be pretty happy. This is still a pretty even matchup, 7-7 in CS. Still substantially better than last game, and very impressed at how Jabs recovered before. If he starts off with a start like this, then perhaps it'll be a different game. Weird cosmetics on this Storm, too. Oh, this is the G set. Okay, you don't see this thing very often.
Yeah, I like the hair. It's very spiky and very blue.
The collar piece is kind of what I was thinking of. It's very distinct. This must be a rare set. When the hell did this come out?
I don't really know. I couldn't even begin to guess.
Alright, well, I gotta up my cosmetics game. Down bottom, Abba maybe in some trouble. Tim's comes rolling on in. There's the Berserker's call. TNT's already used his shield. It's got a pretty long cooldown, and he's only level 1, so no missed coil. Abba in a lot of trouble. Chemo in a great position to get vision. Try and block things out. Another Aphotic shield. It's going to pop. Maybe they could turn it the other way, but no. Tim's jumps in. The first blood's drawn, and it's Earth Spirit that gets credit. Very nice for Execration.
So this may just end up with... If they can pull the side camp here, yeah, they're going to pull the 2-stack. If our Spirit pulls quick... They need to pull this. Like,
or not.
All this would be for nothing if they don't deny this creep wave. There, so they get a kill, they force Axe out, and they deny them a full wave. So this bot lane is not going very well at all. The commit of the Abaddon to bot lane isn't really paying off. He's getting some levels. Axe is just going to start jungling now, so they're minimizing their losses at this point.
Mid lane, Tim's rolling in, kicks Jabs back. There's the cold snap. Sunstrike, this should yield a kill, and it certainly does. Abed gets credit for that one.
Yeah, so he's off to a really good start. He's secured the bot lane, he's secured the mid lane. Its Invoker should be pretty fine. The Storm honestly, he's doing worse than he was last time if you look at XP. Um, I'm just wondering, this is the kind of game where Storm isn't really going to have much access to farm because Axe is going to be taking a lot of his jungle. So it's kind of difficult for him. I'm looking at top lane as well. Lakels is farming pretty decently. He's sitting top of the last hits. This Oracle though, he's sitting at level 1. Like, it's just a question of, do you want your Oracle to be massively underfarmed? He's kind of done it at the trade-off of Batrider also being level 1, so I guess that's quite good. But this Oracle's not really having a great game.
No,
Buys 2 smokes.
he certainly isn't. Maybe these smokes could change it. This is really what you want your Earth Spirit to do, though. You pick him to get these early rotations, put pressure on lanes, and this is a dream start for Tim's. Boots, Oov, still a pretty basic kit, but setting up in the mid lane, ready to go rolling in. Jabs, only level 5 still, but Abaddon's nearby. He's going to have an aphotic shield as well as a mist coil. And this will be enough to keep Jabs alive, I think. He sidesteps. Sunstrike doesn't connect on him, but it hits on TNT. Almost a chance of getting a double there, but the Abaddon with good positioning. Not expecting the Batrider to rotate at 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't really something I'd expect either, to be honest. I'm just looking at bot lane. Klinks he's recovered fine. Like, this early contest from Dire hasn't really worked out.
No, and Abaddon suiciding into the neutrals, taking the free trip back to the well. Okay. Well, Execration feeling pretty good. It's already about 1,000 net worth lead just from the kills and farming better in the lanes. Now Nando, left to his own devices, playing a little bit of catch up against the Drow Ranger.
Hold on, I will be just 1 second.
All right, Tim's goes in mid lane, but now a rotation from TNT. The shield keeps him up, and they won't be able to get the counter kill on the Earth Spirit, it seems like. Jab's happy to survive, though, I'm sure. That is one of the difficulties with a hero like Abaddon. He can keep Storm alive, but not one of these supports that can rotate in and actually find the kills to regain the momentum. Now back up top, Lakels has the Bassi on. Power Tread's picked up, turned to Angie. They're going to start laying into this tower. He pops the Precision Aura, gets that extra bit of damage. Oh, man.
And now I am back. I have dealt with the noise problem. Alright.
Alright, so a little pressure up top. Now TP reaction, and Execration will mount defense.
So Lakels is doing pretty well. Wyvern's just trying to contest him a bit. He's just going to get purged off. One of the things which Oracle does very well against Batrider is countering every single thing that hero does. If you're napalmed, no, you got Fortune's End. If you lasso,
they bait him in. Glyph comes out.
Definitely dead.
Not going to be able to grab the tower either. Wanted that one stray auto attack, but it's not coming. Sunstrike will. 2 for nil. Oof. Tower does get denied also. Insult to injury at this point.
Execration doing well in every single lane. Yep, and a solo kill on the Abaddon for the Klinks. So
what is going on here?
Yeah, I think that Sig.Trust, they're not really... I think they're just overplaying. Like, their Drow is sitting there. Like, they know that 2 heroes are missing. They're just sitting hitting the tower. I just don't think they can really justify what they're doing. Okay, so Jabs is going to drop his bottle mid. He's going to get it refilled by the Abaddon. Maybe he tries to play up, but this Invoker is really farmed for how the lane's gone.
He certainly is, and more support rotating in. Tim's now level 4 on the Earth Spirit, picking up that magic stick. Jabs hitting 6. Take a look at overall net worth. That spot is... Silence comes out, healing from the Abaddon, just enough to keep him alive. Now the Aphotic Shield, they want to turn. They'll bring him down this time. Tim's dies first, and Jabs will survive. Scoots back as he sips up that bottle. Abed, able to live through it, eats his stick charges. And he's actually pretty healthy now. Still a good turnaround. Sig.Trust finally get up on the scoreboard. Much needed kill for Jabs.
Yeah, they really needed that. The Storm is like their one hero that can really change the way this game is going. The Axe is going to be a long time. He doesn't really have a good way to farm at this point. He's just kind of running around. Lakels is taking the jungle, and he's doing so in full vision of Execration. And so, once again, this Axe, he's level 5, he doesn't have anywhere near a blink, so he's just going to be farming, really. He doesn't really have that much he can do without that blink, so he might go to bot lane, absorb some XP there,
He's so
But Clinks is
poor.
already just whacking away at that tower, so that might become a bit more difficult.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a freebie for Execration. They use the glyph, but just slows the inevitable. Last hit goes the way of Nando. I mean, I guess the Bat Rider isn't... no, he's got 2,600. He's actually doing substantially better. Almost level 6. He'll have Lasso coming online if he so chooses. Sig.Trust can still turn this around, though. It kind of depends on what Execration does with this lead in the next couple minutes. 'Cause I think Sig.Trust can get to that next stage of items, take a good fight, and then be A-okay. They still have a lot of ways to take team fights. They just can't concede too much while the map's still split up.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Bat Rider. He's actually level 6 now, which is a really good recovery from what happened. He got, obviously, the 2 kills top, and then he's been farming very efficiently in the last few minutes. So at 4 minutes, he was level 1 with 100 XP, and now he's level 6. So he's kind of turned it around, and now he's going to have exactly enough gold for his Blink Dagger.
Yep.
So he doesn't have gold for a smoke, though, so he may request some assistance.
Wow.
And
Abba
Axe
evaporated.
falls again. So Abba, who is not Abba, is going to die on bot lane, and Abba is farming mid lane. So I'm just wondering, really, if this Axe is going to have any kind of game at all. I think that he has to wait until Sig.Trust get in a position to Roche, and then use that time when they're threatening towers with the Aegis to farm. Because I honestly don't really see any other way that he's going to be free from this Clinks and Spirit.
Yeah, and we're at this stage now. Even if he gets the blink, he's just so squishy that he'll blink in and fall almost instantly. Now Bat Rider mid uses the lasso, tries to set up onto jabs. The Sunstrike actually falls short, though it doesn't matter. TNT not able to save him. Abba on his way in, but now the Magnetize doing some decent return damage. He'll get the kill on the Earth Spirit. Does cost Oracle his life, however, as well as the Abaddon. Abba with a big man up, Drow Ranger behind. It's a 4 for 2. Now a buyback from the Abaddon to get back in the fray. Nando doing so much damage, just destroys Lakel's before TNT can even use the Aphotic Shield. He gets off the borrowed time.
Barely gets his level 6.
Whew. That was brutal, though. A full 5 for 2 with a buyback. It's a 1,500 net worth swing and some damage on their tier 1. Disastrous fight for Sig.Trust.
That was the opposite of ideal. This Drow now, he doesn't have his Dragon Lance at 10 minutes. The Storm is sitting 1 and 3 with mana boots. He's doing way worse than last game. I'm just looking, what do they have any saving graces so far in this early game? I think the things you have to look for are the level 6 on the Abaddon. They've got that. He can now begin maybe to save people more reliably. He can play more up in these fights. The Oracle's got level 6 as well, so the Bat Rider Lasso in the next fight isn't going to be such a problem. The Axe, he's making his way to his Blink Dagger slowly, but we can't expect to see that anytime soon. So the good thing is they've still got their mid tier 1 and top tier 1 up.
Yep. Storm zips across, back in the game here. Just putting some pressure on. Maybe they'll catch Nando. Fei Mal takes way too much damage. They've got a dust. Clink's low on mana. Might be able to grab the courier. He gets it. No cargo, but now even the Winter Wyvern comes to turn this around. Cold Embrace also, and they are just getting obliterated. Invoker from the low ground. Deafening Blast steps up on the Storm. Now TNT on the run. They've already used the borrowed time. 3 for 0. And
this Wyvern is being so
courier,
crucial. Sorry to... I'm just so excited about this Wyvern, dude. He saved the Invoker from the Drow. He saved the Clinks. He is the most impactful hero at this point. He's just ruining every single plan that Sig.Trust have. At this point, I think if they don't focus the Wyvern in these fights with the Storm and the Drow together, they don't have much of a chance of winning them at all.
Yeah, at this rate, it could be a quick game 2 to move into a game 3. I'm really seeing few signs of recovery. I was hyping up these two supports, but they don't play as well from behind. You know, Oracle and just completely destroyed by the Clinks. I thought he would have a little more survivability than that, but now again down bottom. Axe initiated on Sunstrike, almost enough for the kill. It sets it up for Chemo. Even the support Winter Wyvern with a level 2 Arctic Burn able to make it happen.
He just doesn't stop. He's brutal. He's got his Sol Ring now, he's got 900 gold, he could pick up mana boots for his team if he wants to, or he could buy basically whatever the hell he likes, but he's probably going to buy mana boots and a TP. Is he? No? Maybe? No, he's going to go Tranquil Boots, okay. Jabs is going to be sitting here farming his own jungle. He is just going to be working towards a Bloodstone.
He's going straight into Deso, and after he finishes off this tower, he's had the Bladestone for a while, but you just look at the spread of armor on the Dire side, and Drow is the only one who will be able to stand against the Deso without being completely crippled, but her damage is already lackluster compared to the Clinks when they're in a right-click war, and that will be the cherry on top. Another tough window for Sig.Trust as they get over this next power spike. Another Tier 1 tower falls. 3 Tier 1s down on the side of Sig. Now the Tier 2's left vulnerable.
Yeah, they've lost all their Tier 1s before the Clinks Deso, and now Clinks has Deso, and things are going to start getting messy. Because Oracle and Abaddon, they have no item progression whatsoever. Lakel's he's got his Dragon Lance, but that's it. He doesn't have level 11 yet. They don't really have any way of threatening Roche. Axe doesn't have Dagger. So they really just need to wait for Execration to overextend. But Jabs is going to get caught in the top lane, and he's going to go down. And this Tier 2 probably as well.
Yeah, they're not in a position to come back and
Oh,
defend.
Abba.
Clinks
Rest in
just
peace.
3 shots the axe before he can even use the Berserker's Call. Lakel's about to suffer a similar fate, I think. Maybe False Promise, but no, he dies too quick. The supports don't even have time to react, and 14 minutes in,
good game.
They call it. Honestly, not a moment too soon. Sometimes when you're so far behind, you just got to wipe it off, take that game and say, guys, we fucked up. We got to do something different. Let's just move into Game 3 before we get more demoralized.
Yep, so Execration, the 2 supports last game, they didn't have much of an impact at all, but this game they had all the impact. And honestly, I think Sig.Trust could have played so much better than they did, and even then they would have been at a massive disadvantage. Because every single move for Execration worked out, and even if half of them hadn't, I think they would still be in a very good position. And I like their draft, I like the Clinks pick. I think the fact that his lane went so well was very, very important. I think that if the Abaddon Axe had had more success in the bot lane, I think the Spirit would have had a much harder time kind of working out where he needed to be. But because it was so obvious that the safe lane was so secure after the first 2 minutes, he could just spend his entire day just screwing around with the Drow and the Storm Spirit. And I just think that the Kells really couldn't afford to be messed with, and the Storm really needed a good early game, and they just couldn't get that.
Absolutely. And with that said, we'll take our break, come into game number 3, Execration versus Sig.Trust, from best of 3 to best of 1. Winner of this next match will be moving on to the grand finals coming up tomorrow. Sit tight, folks. Mr. Cat Invitational continues after this on moonducktv. I'm Zayori, he's Rhyme. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back after this short break.